Okay, guys, so good morning. Yes, today we are going to talk about things that are, yeah, countable and things that are not countable in English. Yes, so let's get started. I'm going to share a document with you that you are going to see. Very good. So here it is. Mhm. So we are going to create a chart that is going to help us differentiate this. Mhm. So in this chart, we are going to write mhm, countable, countable, and non-countable, let's say nouns here, nouns, and here we are going to say non-countable nouns. Okay, so here we are going to think. Okay, so what things are countable? Yeah, for example, we are going to count oranges. Mhm. Or we are going to count tables. Yes, or we are going to count, for example, pencils. We are going to count also chairs. Mhm. We are going to count houses. Mhm. Yeah. We are going to count as well. Okay, here, for example. Um, okay, give me a moment. Um, yeah, perfect. We are going to count as well. Um, like gloves. Yes, gloves. Do you see here like gloves? Um, yeah. So these are few examples of what we can count. Very good. These are few examples of what we can count. Now, mhm, what are things that we cannot count? Mhm. Basically, like all the liquids. For example, the oil is not countable. It is not countable. Um, the yogurt, yeah, the water, yeah, or the juice. These are things that are not countable. Yes. However, there are other things that we can count in Spanish, yes, but that we cannot count in English. An example of this, yes, might be, for example, the fruit, yes. So here we can count, for example, the oranges or the apples, yeah, or the apples, see, the oranges or the apples, yes. Those are the categories of fruit, yes. But the word fruit, yes, we in Spanish we say like una fruta, dos frutas, tres frutas, yes. But in English it is not possible to say that. So the category fruit, yes, the category fruit is not countable. For example, the meat is not countable either. Very good. So we cannot say one meat, two meat, three meats. No, we normally can say like a piece of meat or a slice of meat, but I'm going to go to that point. I'm going to get to that point in a second. Okay, good. Other things are not countable. Yeah, for example, the bread. Again, in Spanish we say Me da un pan, me da dos panes, me da tres panes. Yes, but in English it is not possible to say that. Mhm. And finally, we have like the cheese. Yes, the cheese is not countable either. Yeah, very good. So these are just like few examples of things that are countable and not countable in English. Very good. So um, now that we have like clear how we can not count and not count things. Okay, here I'm going to add like some examples. Here we are going to say rice, for example, or hair. Uh-huh. Rice, yeah, you cannot say like one, two, three, like hair. No, that's not possible. Mhm. The rice. So here we have the beans, for example, beans are countable. What other things are countable? For example, the notebooks. Mhm. Or, for example, sheets of paper. Mhm. So, so all these things are countable. Yeah, very good. Other thing, headphones. Yeah, here I have some headphones and they are countable. So let's write it here, headphones. Mhm. Okay, so after we have like um, think of some clear examples of what is countable and what isn't countable. Now I'm going to explain some things to you. There are like um, some words that we need to keep in mind when we are creating sentences, having in mind what is countable and what it isn't. And these words are, give me a moment, I'm going to search for a color. Mhm. And I'm going to highlight it. So we are going to have here like some, and here we are going to have, and here we are going to have any. Okay, very good. So um let's take the example with the oranges. So you can say, for example, mm, I'm going to change the color again. So you can say, for example, Carlos has some oranges, oranges in his fridge. Mhm. Yes, very good. Now, this is the sentence in affirmative. Very good. And we are going to highlight here the word some. Now, mm, we are going to try to create, yes, the sentence using any. Very good. So we are going to say Carlos. Give me a moment. We are going to say Carlos doesn't have doesn't have any any oranges in his fridge. Uh-huh. Very good. And then we are going to highlight um here, like doesn't have any. We are going to highlight that. And then I'm going to explain why. Very good. Now, is it possible to say, mm, Okay, give me a moment. I'm going. Yeah, perfect. Now we're going to try to create another example. We do it with oranges. Now we are going to do it with one of the uncountable nouns, which is, for example, cheese. So we are going to say uh, Juan, Juan and Camilo. Yes, Juan and Camilo like um, have some cheese, some cheese for the cake. Again, here we are going to highlight some. Mhm. And we are going to do exactly this same sentence with any. Okay, so we are going to say Juan and Camilo. Camilo don't have any cheese just for the cake. And here we are going to highlight this. Don't have it. We are going to highlight. Yeah, very good. Now we what can we infer like so far? Okay. You know, according to the table that we have a bowl that we have here, that oranges is countable. Very good. And we know that cheese is uncountable. Very good. So, what can we infer? That's pretty easy, guys. That in affirmative sentences, uh-huh, it doesn't matter if the thing is countable or not. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can use we can use some and any to create sentences that are or that involve better things that are countable or non-countable. Very good. Yeah. Here we have cheese. Yeah. Cheese is not countable, and we are using some. Mhm. Yeah. Cheese is not countable, and we are using some. And oranges is not countable. Is countable. Sorry, and we are using some as well. So uh, we are going to use them in with both kind of things, yeah, with countable or non-countable. That's basically in relation to how we use some for countable or not countable. In the affirmative sentences, here I am going to write some like affirmative sentences. Here, affirmative sentences. Mhm. Here are for affirmative sentences. Now, what happens in the case of any? Again, guys, we have oranges. Oranges is countable. And here we have cheese. Cheese is also countable. Mhm. But why did I highlight the negative part? Because we can use any only when we are creating negative sentences. Yes, but again, it doesn't matter if the thing is countable or not. We can use it with both. What we have to be careful with is like in the structure of the sentence. Why? Because we can use only any when we are creating negative statements, as you can see here. Okay, very good. Mhm. So here, like, we're going to say some for affirmative sentences and any for negative sentences. For negative sentences. Yeah. But what about the questions? Why, guys, we can create questions using some any, of course. Yes. So I'm going to show you in a moment. Let's take and let's create another example using the notebooks, for example, which are countable. We are going to say, please, do you have some notebooks? Some notebooks in your backpack? Mhm. Do you have some notebooks in your backpack? Again, here we are going to highlight some. Okay, good. And that's how. And the answer here, the answer would be like, um, yes, I do. Mhm. Yes, I do. Or simply, you are going to say, no, I don't. Give me a moment, guys. Yeah, sorry, is that I was like plugging my computer. Yes, so yes, I do, or no, I don't. Mhm. Now we are going to um, go below in the part that we have any, and we are going to think of an uncountable. Oh well, no, let's do it with the same example so that you get more familiar in the way in which we can use both, like countable and not countable. So now we are going to say like, do you have, yeah, do you, do you have any notebooks in your backpack? Yes, do you have any notebooks in mm, in your backpack? Mhm. Yeah, and here is the question. Again, here we are going to highlight any. Perfect. So, what can we infer for this creation or due to this creation of sentences? Basically, guys, that we can use some in affirmative and in questions, in affirmative sentences and in questions. It doesn't matter again if the things that we are talking about are countable or not countable. Yeah, very good. Now, what can we infer? What can we infer about any? That any cannot be used in affirmative sentences. Yes. So it is going to be used only. Yes, it is going to be used only for negative statements or negative sentences and to create, yes, and to create questions like as in the example that we can see here. Very good. Now how can we answer the question again? Do you have any notebooks in your locker? Yeah, the answer is pretty easy. Yes, I do, or no, I don't. uh or not, I don't. Yes, I do, or no, I don't. That's pretty easy to um like to do. Okay, perfect. Now, I told you that here there are some things that we cannot count, like for example, fruit, meat, bread, cheese, rice, and hair. Yes, they are not countable. But how can we, let's take the example of fruit, meat, and bread. Mhm. So here I'm going to make a little division. Yeah, and here we are going to think like about meat, for example. I'm going to change the color. Give me a moment. Yeah, let's do it with blue. So here we have the example of meat. Yeah, meat is not countable. The same in the same case as fruit or bread. But how can we make them countable if they are not countable? And you might say, oh, but we count it in Spanish. Yes, again, try to not translate because not everything works when we translate from one language to another. Okay, yeah. So basically, what we can use here is to say this. I want. We are going to say I want some cheese. I want some cheese for my, yes, for my arepas. Yes, arepas is something that is very Colombian. Yes, it doesn't have translation, so we cannot say arepation, for example, that doesn't exist. We just say arepas. Okay, I want some cheese for my arepas. If we use some, we are making it like countable. Yes, some cheese. Perfect. But there is also other way, guys. We can say she wants she wants two slices, yes, two slices of cheese for her arepas. Mhm. So here we are going to highlight some, and we are going to do it. Like here we are going to say, I want some cheese for my arepas. And then we are going to say she wants two slices of, yeah, and we are going to highlight it that one. Yeah, she wants two slices of cheese for her arepas. And that's how we are going to make it countable. Yeah, the same happens with fruit. For example, we, we are going to say, we are going to say, uh, I want, I want um, some fruit in my salad. And if we are using some, it is because we are making it, yes, it is because we are making it countable. Yes, we are making it countable. Yeah. Or we can also say, I want two pieces, I want two pieces of fruit in my salad. I want two pieces of fruit in my salad. Very good. Now here we are going to, here two pieces of. Very good. But we can also create negative sentences using this. Like I don't want, for example, we are going to say I don't want. Mhm. I don't want I don't want two pieces of fruit in my salad. Mhm. In my salad. Very good. So here we are going to use um, two pieces. Okay, here pieces of, and that's how we can make things that are not countable using these words that I am showing to you. Now uh, let's try to create another negative sentence. Sorry, but with meat. Yes. Um, Now we are going to say like, um, I don't want. Yes. Or we are going to say they don't want. They don't want. Um, they don't want any um, loaf, any loaves of bread, any loaves of bread for their breakfast. Give me a moment. Mhm. So we are going to say they don't want any loaves of bread for their breakfast. Okay, so loaves of, yes, is the word that we are going to use to make things like countable, uh, things that are not countable. Okay, so pieces of, like that's pretty easy to understand. A slice of, yes, it is a slice of bread or a loaf of meat. Yes. So basically what we can get here, guys, is that loaves and pieces or slices are, yes, they are synonyms, and they are basically used to make things, again, make things that are not countable. Mhm. That's it. So basically, guys, to give me a moment, I'm going to try to scroll up a little bit. Mhm. So what did we learn today? That's pretty easy. Mhm. Here we have things that are countable and things that are not countable. That's the first thing that we did in this class. Then, mhm, then we learned um, how to use some in affirmative sentences and in questions. Yes, and we learned how to use also any, which is only used for negative sentences and for questions. Yes, very good. So, how can we, or what are the questions that we can create? Here we have the one that is related to some, and here we have the one that is related to any. Very good. Remember, we can use some and any with things that are countable or with things that are not countable. Very good. And the thing that we learned here, there is other thing that we learned here, and it is with, for in the example of meat, fruit, and bread. Yes, as I was telling you at the beginning of the class, bread and fruit are countable in Spanish. Yes, because we say una fruta, dos frutas, tres frutas, or we say un pan, dos panes, tres panes. Yes, but in English, uh, those let's say like those words or those objects or those things are not countable. Okay, they are not countable. So how can we make them countable? That is pretty easy using like some, for example. So you can say I want some bread or some fruit, and you make it countable. Or you are going to say I want two slices of cheese and make it countable, or two slices of bread and you make it countable. Remember again that pieces, loaves. Yes, I'm going to highlight it, like pieces, loaves, mhm, or slices are synonyms. Yeah, and they can be used to make things that are not countable countable. Very good, guys. Very good. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And well, guys, this was like everything for this first part of a class that is going to be related to countable and non-countable nouns. Yes. So I'll see you in a second, and after I'll see you in a second and a third session in which we are going to be focusing on vocabulary and pronunciation. Okay. So remember that my name is Mr. Gonzalez. For me, it was a pleasure to teach you today, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.